Well, happy Friday, everyone. It was a beautiful end to the work week. We actually did see our temperatures in the 60s today. It was nice and sunny. Finally saw some blue sky again, but unfortunately, more clouds are moving in this weekend. We are going to stay dry Saturday, but it is going to be cloudy, a little bit cooler as well. Definitely not as warm as what we've seen most days this week. And then we are tracking that heavy rain moving in by Sunday, and it's looking like we could actually see a good bit, possibly bringing us a low flood risk. So let's get right into it. First, I want to talk about today. It was gorgeous out there. We actually saw our high temps at 65 at Daniel Field, 67 at Bushfield. Was a nice start to the day and had plenty of sunshine, but we are tracking more clouds already starting to move into the region. But despite the clouds, I think we still have a good chance of seeing the upper 30s by early tomorrow morning. So it is going to be a pretty cool start to our weekend. And then throughout the day Saturday, we're just going to see our skies stay pretty overcast for the most part, and that'll keep our high temps from really increasing too much. Should generally stay in the mid to even low 50s tomorrow afternoon. But if you're going to be outside, not expecting a rain risk, that should really hold out until we get to our Saturday night. And Saturday night to Sunday, this is going to be our setup. We've been showing this graphic, and it just hasn't really changed all too much, just consistently showing this area of low pressure tracking across the southeast. And we're going to see some rain from this warm front, from the central area of this low pressure on the back side of it. So this is what's going to bring us kind of washout conditions. And overall, I think we got a good bet of seeing 1 to 2 inches area wide and potentially even more than 2 inches in a few spots. Right now, that kind of favors the southern CSRA, which we'll talk about in just a bit. But this is going to start Saturday night and then really continue all the way through Sunday night. So a pretty soggy outlook late into the weekend. So take advantage of the dry weather while it does last on Saturday. Once again, it probably is going to look like it's going to rain a lot of the day tomorrow, but that rain is really going to hold out until we get to much later Saturday night. But it will be a little bit cool out there with those winds out of the east-northeast. Heading into our Saturday night, this is when the rain starts to move into our southern counties, really starts to pick up as we head into Sunday morning. Obviously, not the best weather heading off to church. Be safe on the roadways. Definitely grab the raincoat and the umbrella. You will need all the rain gear out there. And if you want to do kind of some preparatory stuff before this rain shows up Sunday, hit up the windshield with some Rain-X. I love that stuff, and it does work. So if you're going to be driving in the rain Sunday, buy some Rain-X tomorrow, apply that to your windshield. You will thank me later. Now, high temperatures Sunday as the rain just kind of continues. It's not going to be able to warm up all too much. So generally just expecting 40s and 50s for high temps. There likely will be a little break, so a couple of different waves. That morning wave will push through, and by around midday, maybe we see an hour or two of dry conditions, but watch what happens as we head later into the afternoon and Sunday evening. More rain starts to build in once again, so this is going to provide us just kind of on and off rain chances even late into the day. I would say the heaviest rain probably occurs Sunday morning, but doesn't really taper completely off until we get to much later Sunday night. And then we're back to dry, sunny weather, beautiful conditions by next Monday. And then that next chance for rain next week doesn't work its way back in until Wednesday. So here's our flash flood risk. It's a marginal risk, which means generally just kind of trouble spots, flood-prone areas. You know who you are. If you flood very easily, you definitely could have some issues out there on Sunday as this rain really picks up. And I would say mainly Sunday morning, that's when rain rates will kind of be at their peak. And it's really the rain rate that causes flooding. If we see a lot of rain, but it's spaced out over a long time period, usually don't have that many issues because the ground can kind of absorb it at a decent rate. But if you just see rain rates over 1-2 inches per hour, that's when you start to have some problems with ponding and causing those minor flood inconveniences. So a heads up, this is area wide, really anywhere in the CSRA could have some minor flood problems. So just make sure those drains are cleared out and your gutters are cleaned out as well. As far as rain totals go, I mentioned this earlier, 1 to 2 inches area wide. I would say pretty much everywhere in the CSRA should see at least an inch. Upper end totals will be closer to 2 inches and possibly even getting over 2 in a few spots. You can see our in-house model kind of ramped up the rain totals in our southern counties with these last couple of hourly updates that have been coming through for it. So I would say the southern CSRA definitely has the better opportunity for rain totals over 2 inches. For us here around Augusta, I think we stay between the 1 to 2 inch mark, and the further north you go, those totals just drop off a little bit. But I would say most places in the CS area should see at least an inch of rainfall. As far as temperatures go, we are dropping back below average, so it's been a few days since we've actually seen temperatures cooler than average. It will feel cooler out there this weekend, and generally staying in the mid-50s both days. Looking ahead to next week, we're back to dry conditions Monday. Should hold on to dry weather through most of our Tuesday, but our next front is going to show up heading into Wednesday next week. And it looks like with that front Wednesday, we have the opportunity for good soaking rain, but also it's looking pretty windy next Wednesday, potentially some wind gusts up to 40 miles an hour, so a little bit stronger than what we saw this past Wednesday. So that's kind of next on our list for what we're going to be tracking heading into next week. But for the weekend forecast, just try to get those outdoor plans in Saturday. Sunday's going to be a washout for us. Back to dry weather Monday, Tuesday, rain Wednesday, along with that wind threat. We're going to have to track that wind threat a little bit more through the weekend, and then cooling off behind that front next week, next Thursday and Friday. So hopefully you had a great Friday and you have a lot of fun plans for the weekend. Hopefully they're on Saturday and not on Sunday, but hey, some good playoff football games to watch on Sunday as the rain is falling. So we got that to look forward to. But have a great night. We'll see you later on News 12 at 11.